In the previous video, we talked about how Season 8 had one of the worst ranked metas in Apex history. But then it got me thinking, what was the worst update in Apex Legends, period? With all the recent changes with Seer, Valk, and the ranked mode as a whole, you might be quick to say Season 18's Arsenal. However, there is one update that sticks out to me, an update that was so bad, it had to be redacted 2 weeks after the start of a new season. An update so long ago in Apex's history that you may not even remember Season 6's shield nerf. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, and for those of you that do remember and didn't play, like me, the shield nerf was an update that changed what most players were most familiar with and reducing the values for all shields across the board. So instead of gold armor giving you 100 extra HP, it would instead only give you 75. Same with purple armor, instead of 100, it was going to give you 75. Blue armor went from 75 to 50 HP, leaving level 1 armor only giving you an extra 25 shield. But why? Why was this update ever a thing, and why is it no more? What made the devs make this seemingly minor change in the game's balancing, and how did this ruin Apex? Well, first, I need to go over what made the previous 2 seasons so special and widely regarded as some of the best seasons in Apex. Seasons 4 and 5 followed up the remarkable Season 3 with stronger legends like Revenant and Loba. Okay, look, these guys weren't hot launches either, but they were definitely a bump from Crypto. Sorry bro. A new weapon was introduced, new mechanics were introduced like Evil Armor in Season 4's Simulacrum event and treasure packs in Season 5, and of course the usual fun new locations and map changes. And then came Season 6. A season that I would personally rank as one of the worst seasons in Apex. With a weak legend launch, a few changes to World's Edge, but a great weapon in the Volt SMG and the introduction of crafting, it was a pretty lukewarm season. And with that, also a change that sent shockwaves through the whole Apex community. Shields were the very lifeline and backbone of Apex, something that went unnoticed, but when changed, it fundamentally alters how we approach the game. August 18th of 2020. The Season 6 patch involved removing all regular shields and replacing them with Evo armor. Prior to this, Evo and regular shields were in the same loot pool. However, most people avoided Evos unless they were already leveled up, as it wasn't advantageous to give up a blue or white regular shield to start up on a fresh Evo. So I thought this change was actually pretty good. Removing regular shields allows it so that way the loot pool is not cluttered up. The update also made players spawn in with level 0 evos at the start of a match, which you would need to do damage to level up. This is basically what we have today, except we start with level 1 shields. And of course the update also brought changes that dropped the values of all shield health across the board. So why? Why did Respawn feel the need to reduce the values of shields? Well, this is because I failed to mention what made Evo shields so interesting. It wasn't the fact that you could do damage to get better shields, which helps reduce RNG for players who aren't lucky enough to find purple and gold shields. No, the true appeal of Evo armors is their red stage, which was attained by going through all the levels and doing 925 damage give or take, granting the player with an extra 125 extra shields. Red Evo shields were so special because you couldn't obtain them from looting. You could only obtain it through the actual gameplay mechanics of actually doing damage. This made players have to choose whether they wanted the speed of healing up faster with gold shields that were only up to 100 extra shields, or be tankier with their red Evo armor, making for fun gameplay decisions depending on your situation, legend choice, or playstyle. But the Season 6 armor change made it so red armor was changed from 125 extra shield to only 100. For what reason, I can't imagine, except making so that way red armor is at 100 and it's a flat value of 100. So having a red shield was basically like having a purple shield in the previous season. Although it was the best shield in the game, it didn't feel as powerful as it once was. Okay, I feel like I'm just mentioning stuff and I'm not making it really impactful to you guys, because you need to understand that although the shields were reduced across the board, the weapons and their fire rates and damage rates remained the same. All of them. In fact, some weapons like the Hemlock, Havoc, Triple Take, Mozambique, and the P2020 all received damage buffs of some kind in that same patch. This meant that the time to kill was much faster than it was in previous seasons. It's clear this armor change wasn't thought out all the way through. With most people not being able to get Red Evo until the very late game, chances are you're going to be running around with the new 25 White Evo armor or the new 50 Blue Evo armor, which again is the exact same as the current day White Shields. So imagine you're playing the game right now in the mid to late game and you only have 50 HP in armor, and let's say you manage to upgrade and you're lucky enough to find a purple or gold. You now have a total of 175 total HP, which is basically the same as having a blue armor today. Imagine today running around in the late game with some of the best possible armor that you can possibly have, and it's a blue armor. Yeah, you're gonna get fried regardless of what gun the enemy has. So of course, many pros and casuals were frustrated because the time to kill was so much faster. So if you were shot in the back, you had little to no time at all if the player was good to react. Apex became a whole different game at that point, rewarding patience and peeking rather than actually moving around, because that would just lead to you getting shot. SMGs became one-clip killers, all snipers felt like Krabers, hammer points were meta again, and items like the gold shield perk weren't even considered because the extra 25 the Red Evo provided was mandatory to survival. There was so much cries, so much backlash from this change. It was such a huge adjustment for so many players, with some people even defending the decision, thinking that the game would just be more faster paced, which would be good, and they just needed time to adjust, with each content creator and pro having their own stance on the matter. But due to all the cries and all the backlash, on September 3rd, 2020, only 2 weeks after the initial season launch, all shield health values were readjusted back to what we all know today, with the developer stating in the patch notes, and I quote, "From the start of Apex Legends development, one of our core pillars was that getting the drop on someone should give those players a significant advantage. We aim to promote strategy in the battlefield, positioning, and map control. When these tactics were executed well, but a team still outplayed you because of their mechanical skill, this felt bad. In seasons 1 to 5, we felt this balance was achieved pretty well. However, with the introduction of Evo armor change, we saw in our internal playtest that players were achieving red armor, 125 shields, more often, and more players were fighting at 225 total health. Damn. Unquote. Damn. Requote. This started to swing the battles more than we liked, and good players were able to outplay teams more consistently, even if the enemy had worked for a much better position. By lowering the armor values, we felt we had adjusted for the red armor availability more than anything else. Now it's important to note that we playtested this for months internally. From those playtests, the feedback was positive, but we are again a small group of people compared to the millions that play Apex Legends every day. The skill levels in our team varied, and big balance changes are really only going to be vetted when they get feedback from all of you. We are always striving to improve the experience in Apex Legends. Experimentation is an essential part of that. We won't always get things right, but it is important to us to listen and correct things when we don't. We will keep changing the game in order to keep it fresh and interesting as the years go on. I hope that this patch proves that we are thinking deeply about our decisions, but most importantly, listening to our players. Woo! Yay! Mighty Ray's the best YouTuber ever! Hey. Thank you. So now you know, the Apex community saved Apex Legends by complaining and making the devs aware of their mistake way back season 6. And today, this update is completely forgotten about. So even though Seer's looking like a demigod right now, I have faith in the Apex community to complain and Respawn devs to listen and take necessary actions, like how they did with Revenant and Lifeline, 2 characters I already talked about. You can watch that right here. But that's it for Apex Archives. Comment down how you feel about the current state of Apex and how you felt about the shield nerf way back when. Or what do you think is the worst update Apex ever had? I'll see you decoys in another. Be mighty.